Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Victor again with my Ioniq 5. Today's video, I'm going to do the unboxing, the initial impressions, and the install for the seat back protectors for the second row in my Ioniq 5, made by BestEVMod's AOSK. Then I'll also look at my son's swiveling car seat made by Cybex. And I've had some viewers ask about it. If you take a quick look at the US market, there are only a couple of swiveling car seat options available, and this may be one of the best ones. And lastly, we'll look at the car seat protector, which is something that slides underneath your child's car seat. That one's made by Munchkins. So let's start it off with the seat back protectors. The first impressions were just, wow, these feel really nice, very premium. It's a really thick material, but it's got a little bit of flex, a little bit of give to it. Kind of almost cushioned. So when you're hauling things and you rest it on the protector, it'll sink in a little bit, but also provide a little bit of extra cushioning. And I've seen in some of the past designs for other cars where the material they use is really thin, or it's a very hard shell-like material. And I feel like both of those styles don't seem ideal, but this one might be perfect. And here's something from BestEVMod telling us about the differences between TPE and XPE. They're using XPE, and as they're explaining it, this material is a little more expensive, so that's why these protectors cost what they do. It feels very thick, and I am familiar with this type of finish. It's not rubbery, it's not sticky, so it's much easier to clean. I also don't smell any weird odors, and it does have a little bit of traction to the surface, which is nice, but not to the point that things will get sticky or be hard to clean. Now, I've always wanted a set of good seat back protectors. If you have dogs, then if they ever end up in the trunk, you'll know that it just makes it so much easier to clean if you don't have that carpet-like material exposed. Dog fur just sticks to that stuff. And same if you're hauling things like maybe wood, where wood chips or wood splinters might get stuck to the seat backs. Again, it's just going to be so much easier to be able to vacuum and just wipe down that seat back versus having to kind of individually pull out the strands or the fibers of whatever is stuck back on there. So personally, I really like the way it looks, and I feel like BestEVMod AOSK did a great job with these. So from what I understand, they are still churning out new products, so keep an eye out and I'll post more reviews as those become available. Next, we'll move on to the car seat made by Cybex. This is the Sirona S, and as I mentioned before, this is a swiveling car seat, meaning you can easily alternate between front and rear facing, or you can even load your child straight in. And it fits newborns up to about age 4, and the weight limits are between 4 pounds minimum and a 65 pound maximum. The Cybex Sirona S, according to the website, is the only convertible car seat to feature a 360-degree rotatable seat with low leg stability, linear side impact protection, and a sensor-safe technology. So we kind of splurged on this one because I have a bad back and I liked the idea of being able to swivel the seat to face me when loading my son into the car seat. This way I don't have to do that awkward upper body twist while loading him in. Then I can just strap him in, swivel the seat back into the correct position, and off we go. At least that was the initial purpose. Now I've had it for about 2 years, and we actually had to replace the previous car seat, which was another model by another manufacturer, because it was in a car accident. So this is what we replaced it with, and my son's been using it now for the past 2 years. He's getting close to 3 years now, and I tend to put him in facing forwards on shorter trips. The acing and heating in general for all cars just isn't ideal for rear-facing car seats because the kids don't get any airflow directly at them, and they end up having to wait for the cabin to completely cool down or completely warm up before they really feel the effects of the HVAC system. So I like to keep my son front-facing or forward-facing, especially when it's really hot or really cold outside. This way he gets some direct airflow. But the nice thing here is that let's say you're on a long trip and you're just starting to head onto the highway. Well, in this scenario, I would prefer him to be rear-facing for safety purposes. Well, in this one, I can just turn him rear-facing while the car is still moving and with him still sitting in the actual car seat. I just grab this lever on the inside and I pull it in, then I can push the seat up, and then I can swivel it. This actually didn't work quite as well in my old Volvo XC60, which is my daily driver from before the Ioniq 5. And that's because that Volvo didn't quite have the giant interior space like the Ioniq 5 does, which the Ioniq 5 has a much wider interior. So trying to swivel in the old Volvo meant that the car seat would kind of get stuck if I turned it towards the door, but the Ioniq 5 doesn't have that problem. In fact, the Ioniq 5 has enough clearance where I can turn the seat in either direction and I have zero clearance issues. So truly a unique feature that I've really appreciated, or really my son has appreciated, and it just matches the Ioniq 5 perfectly because those super wide seats allow clearance in both directions. Now there are a few more options now, this point 2 years later versus when I bought it, but I still feel like this may be one of the best ones, and I'll give you two other reasons why. Number one is that load leg, which according to the website says the load leg is their structural element. It's integrated into the base of a car seat and extends down to the vehicle floor to help distribute the crash forces away from the child by transferring that crash energy to the vehicle's floor. The load leg is height adjustable, so it can be perfectly suited to your vehicle. The Sirona S load leg stabilizes the car seat and can reduce rotation in certain crashes by up to 30%. So in short, it's a stability safety feature that will minimize crash forces during an accident and will essentially help keep your child safe. Now, the other thing was sensor safe. It's an OBD2 port attachment that you plug in, and then you install the app on your phone, and it will tell you if the child seat's belt is buckled or not. It will also tell you the current temperature in that direct area, plus it will send alerts if the belt is still buckled but you leave Bluetooth range of the car seat, essentially reminding you that your child is still in the car. Now, I think personally the buckle status and the temperature monitor are both really useful features, especially if your child is rear facing, and then in this way you know exactly what temperature they are experiencing, because it's going to be possibly quite different than what the rest of us are experiencing in the car when it's super hot or super cold outside. And then with the buckle status, it's a great thing if you have a child that likes to try to get out of their car seats by unbuckling the belt. So just a few things more to note. There is a bit of a wobble when you have it in the straight up load position, but if you have the seat anchors correctly tied in, it's not going to flip. It's just going to wobble a little bit until you have it secured into the front or rear facing positions. Also, the seat is not meant to stay in this position, or in fact any other position besides front or rear facing. The seat is going to swivel freely until it's locked into front or rear facing positions. And lastly, the buckle here is pretty stiff. I think that's actually a safety feature so that kids cannot open it themselves, but that means you also need a pretty strong thumb to open it. No real issues for me, but my wife does mention from time to time if she's coming at it from a weird angle that it's really hard to open. Now lastly, we have the Munchkin's Bricka Elite Seat Guardian Seat Protector. Now this thing has over 8,000 reviews on Amazon and it still has a 5-star rating. My favorite things about it are the raised edges and the fact that it's one solid piece with no cutouts in it. If your child eats often in the car seat, which I imagine they would, then you know all too well how much food they drop and how crumbs end up everywhere. Well, this protector in place not only is protecting your seat from weird indentations from the car seat, but it's also containing that food mess so that it doesn't fall into the crevice between the seat base and the seat back. And I believe the seat material is also water resistant, so it should help catch whatever might be dripping off the car seat as well. And with those raised edges, you'll have a much better chance of actually containing all of that mess. So anyways, there you have it. We have a great seat back protector from BestEVMod AOSK and really unique feature-loaded car seat from Cybex, plus a really useful seat protector by Munchkins. The Amazon links are in this video's description for everything that I reviewed in this video, plus everything I reviewed in the previous accessories video, which I'll link here below if you haven't seen it. Let me know if you have any questions, any specific accessories you guys are waiting for the Ioniq 5. Let me know. I'd be happy to pass those along to BestEVMod AOSK. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.